Hey guys, Brad Pritchett here, and I'm standing in the amazing costume shop at the award-winning Dallas Theater Center. Currently on stage here is Henry IV. Now this show has been getting rave reviews for Kevin Moriarty's artistic direction, the stage, the fighting, and the amazing costumes. And I'm lucky enough to be standing with a key player to make those beautiful costumes actually come to life today, Jennifer Abels. She is DTC's costume shop manager. So welcome, thank you for taking the time to chat with us today.
Sure.
Let's go all the way back to the conception of the designs of these pieces. What kind of research did you have to do to dress the cast for this particular show?
Well, Kevin and I had a couple of discussions and decided to keep it period. So I started looking at medieval history books, the actual life of King Henry IV, to find like our place in time. And then I read a book called The Time Traveler's Guide to the 14th Century, which gives you lots of good information about what kind of fabric you would have available, what sort of things you would be allowed to wear. There was something called sumptuary laws, and so there were laws like, you're not fancy enough to wear that, take it off.
Oh,
so.
Wow. Okay, when I came to see the show, I noticed that there were different groups of actors kind of paired with different, different friends, and some look different than the others. So how did you, I guess when you're doing your research, how did you distinguish those different groups with the costuming?
That was one of the things that was really important to Kevin, is that it was clear to the audience who's on what team. That's
right.
kind of how we worded it.
Right.
Because in Shakespeare, especially in the histories, it can get really confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off with the Eastcheap people, and to me, they are earthy and dirty, so I started with I'm going to put them in wool and linen, which are the only two types of fabrics they would be allowed to wear, and they are the most friendly and warm group of people, so I went with earth tones, oranges, yellows, and browns. And then for the king, I did some research on Henry IV's life, and he was, in real life, I have copies of his records of his jewelry that he would buy.
Oh, wow. And
he was really into rubies because they were a symbol of blood and strength, and he would buy ruby jewelry presents for everybody. So I was like, okay, red, right?
Red it is.
And then I for the rebel camp, I just thought, oh, well, blue would look nice. It's different from the earth tones or the light reds and greens, and it's a strong visual opposite.
What were some of your favorite pieces to work on?
I know, it's so difficult. They're all like my little children. I really like to work on the armor because I've done some period medieval shows before, but I've never really had the resources to do the kind of armor exactly the way that I wanted to.
Right.
So we decided that the King's Army would be in padded clothing and the quilted stuff and real chainmail, and then that the Rebel Army would be in leather, just again to distinguish, people would either wear one or the other. So.
Okay, it'd be super lucky if we could maybe take a look at some things today. Do you have anything here we could look
at?
at?
Sure, there's some over here.
Great, okay.
Okay, this is Hotspur's jerkin. That's the ye olde word for jacket. We had the fabric, this is wool, and we had it quilted for us. We added the metal studs.
I like the studs.
We have a little bit of medieval bling. This is his braided or basket weave leather tabard. This was made here in our shop. Just strips of leather over and under, and the diamond pattern, which was kind of his motif.
Wow.
This is Prince Hal, who's played by Stephen Walters. This is his jerkin that he wears for the majority of the show. I put a lot of thought into this piece, and we certainly put a lot of time into making it. I took the ideas for the style lines off of a medieval doublet that I saw in a museum collection. Amanda, our draper, patterned it, and Kyle Everett, our first hand stitched it. There are 70 plus pattern pieces.
Wow. In
this one jacket.
All right, Jennifer, as I'm looking at some of these costumes, I'm noticing a lot of metal and leather work. How labor intensive was that for you guys?
It was pretty labor intensive, but we tried to keep it reasonable. We have, I think, 11 sets of chainmail in the show, maybe 12. This, however, is the King's leather tabard, and Roy Kirkpatrick, another one of our drapers, and Nicole Godwin spent about at least a week just on this one piece.
Well, it's stunning, just like every other piece in the show. And I know you're a busy woman, so thank you for taking the time to chat with us today.
Sure.
And congratulations on a fabulous show and a stunning, stunning aesthetic here at the Dallas Theater Center.
Thanks, Brad.
No problem. Come see the amazing costume work of Dallas Theater Center's Henry IV at the D. and Charles Wiley Theater at the AT&T Performing Arts Center. It's on stage now through October 10th. To learn more about the show or to purchase tickets, you can visit our website at dallastheatercenter.org. Until next time.